Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach, Wamalak Yahweh Shai. Give a strong shalom to all the brothers and sisters to doing everything they can to stay grounded in this walk, whether that's praying, fasting, exhorting, studying, everything they can to make their calling and election sure. This is the brother Azza from St. Louis, just coming with a quick daily bread, just going into how, to be plain, man, we have to hold it down through the Spirit, man. We have to hold it down. I'm going to kick it off with the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. I'm going to read it in the NLT, Salaki. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him. So you have to do everything as a representative of Christ. It's the same way when you go to a business and you're kind of dealing with somebody that may be at the counter or at the register. They may just be walking around the place. They got their name badge on, and they're a representative of that company. Look at reviews when you go to businesses, and you'll see how people, feel about the business. Because you could go to a business, as often as you like, whether that's once a week, once a month, a couple times a year, whatever the case may be, and you may have a great experience every time, but they got that one rotten employee, or not even just a rotten employee. It could just be somebody having a rough day for real. And then people will go to to those reviews, and talk bad about the whole company like they haven't had 30 great experiences, but that one time is that one time that they remember. So the same way that one time an employee could make somebody not come back to a business that they've been frequenting all the time, is the same thing with the Lord. If somebody can know about the truth, know that they're Israelite, know that they got to be keeping the commandments, but then they meet that one brother or that one sister that offends them, and then they like, this can't be the truth. This ain't it. I was better off in Christianity. I was better off in the world. And then they just run off. So we have to be able to hold it down. It said, whatsoever ye do in word or in deed. So that's every action that you commit. That's everything that you say. Every idle word. Every idle thought. You have to be able to hold it down spiritually, man. You can't just kind of do it whatever you want to do, man. Because there's a lot of reaction can come from your actions, no matter how small or big you may think that they are. I'm going to go to Sirach chapter 22 and verse 27. 27. Who shall set a watch before my mouth, and a seal of wisdom upon my lips, that I fall not suddenly by them, and that my tongue destroys me not. So you got to be held accountable for all them things, man. When you pray, you're supposed to pray that the Lord set a watch upon your mouth. When people say something to you, you just got to meditate on it. Not everything is, made for a reaction. Not everything is made to combat. Not everything is made to rebuke. Hey, you just have to learn how to hold it down, man. Hold down your mouth. Hold down your words. Like I'm gonna go to one of my favorite precepts, and this goes into regards as how to deal with people, how to deal with one another. Colossians chapter 4 and verse number 5, walking in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. And the reason that we even got to be holding it down is because we be redeeming the time, man. We are watching prophecy unfold. We kind of know that it ain't much time left in this wicked captivity. We redeeming the time. Verse 6, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. So you just got to hold it down in the spirit, man. You have to hold it down. You got to meditate upon these things. The same way that we meditate on the laws, we got to meditate on our actions. Because everything that we say and everything that we do, it all goes back to the law. Everything that we do goes back to the law. Because if what you say or what you do, and that'll show if you love or hate your brother, man. It's the simple things in the law. And then just to go into the action, with the season that we in, man, with Passover being just right around the corner. Passover is April 1st, so-called, at sundown. Today is so-called the 17th. So it's right around the corner. We don't have much time left. Go to book of Romans chapter 8, and I'm going to start from the top. It said, there is therefore no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. And you can't let your flesh, get you riled up. Can't let your flesh take over, take over your mind, essentially. And how you moving like the old man. Next thing you know, you kind of just saying things real rash, speaking on things that don't need to be spoke on. You acting on things that don't need to be acted upon. It said, but after the Spirit. Walk in the spirit of things, man. Even when stuff happens to you, like there's a lot of things that happen on a daily basis where I gotta sit back and just it's a lot can just be go, that's crazy. To just sit back and be like, man, how is this good for my spirit? Is this good for my spirit, or is it bad for my spirit? Is this here to help me, or is this here to destroy me? Is this here to take me out? And you can't give yourself over to those things, man. You'll drive yourself mad. So then the Lord say that you have to see what is good for yourself and not give over to that. You don't want to give over to things that's of the flesh. So like I was looking for that precept. Salaki. Yeah, but the Lord said, see what is evil for your spirit and give not thyself over to it, man. It's Sirach 37 and 27. That's what it was. It say, my son, prove thy soul in thy life and see what is evil for it and give not that unto it. You got to see what's good for you and what's not. What things are here to please the spirit and what things are here to diminish the spirit. What things are here to kind of put out that light that's upon your candle, man. Don't give yourself over to them things. But I'm going to go back to that Romans chapter 8. Said verse 2, for the law of the spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua hath made me free from the law of sin and death. So with us being in this grace period, that's the only law that's done away with. It's that sacrificial law. Because we don't have a temple to go do sacrifices in. So now we're free from that condemnation of being destroyed for going off. So when you fall short, you got that grace to kind of cover you. You got the spirit of Hamashiach Yahushua to kind of make intercession for you. So we don't get destroyed in this life. Said, but to read that second part again, said, had made me free from the law of sin and death. Said, for what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh. Because our flesh is weak, man. Our flesh is very corrupt. It does things that we don't want to do through the spirit all the time. Said, Yahweh sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. So you got to condemn that sin that's in your flesh, man. You got to hold it down. You got to suppress that evil, man. When you recognize Satan popping up on you, you got to kind of put him in a headlock, kind of hold him down, put him in a submission move, make him give up, make him flee. You got to get him up out of there, man. You can't let sin just dwell in you. You have to hold down your spirit. Verse 4, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. And you have to be walking over the spirit, man, because when you look back into the days of, the first Passover, you had to put that blood on your post. If not, that death angel was coming in and he was wreaking havoc, man. Was slaying people left and right. So that's that grace that we in now, that You got to get your spirit right going in the Passover, man. Because you never know when this could be the last Passover. And then the Lord send that death angel and take you up out of this thing, man. When he make you kind of just give up the ghost, and then you got to answer for things that you still haven't repented for. And you still got to answer for the hate that's in your heart, the malice, all the ill words that you may have said to somebody that you didn't really intend to say. It was just the flesh going off. We're going to have to answer for all these things, so we have to hold it down. 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13 said, let go from the mortal thoughts. Get rid of the mortal thoughts, man. And just because something even runs through your mind don't mean that it has to be acted upon. And being in that season of Passover, again, you want to get this leaven up out of your system. A lot of Israel, we always talk about getting the leaven out the crib. Make sure ain't no bread in there, getting the noodles out of there, the yeast, the baking powder, like all these things, you worried about all that, but you still got a lot of leaven in your spirit. You got to get all that out of there, man. I'll read that from the top again. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. It's like, and actually, I started at 14. It's like 13 is what I meant to go to. Now, therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. You got to set your house in order, man. That's not only just, getting your house prepared like you got people coming over. No, that's getting your spirit right, getting your mind right, getting your temple together, man. Because before you can even wake up the nation, before you can go do all this work, you got to work on yourself. Matthew, 7 and 5. So you got to pull that beam out your own eye. I think it's 7 and 3 on down. But you got to pull that beam out your own eye. You can't try to tell somebody else what they got wrong, but you ain't even examined yourself yet. Yeah, being a hypocrite is one of the things that the Lord hates the most, man. It said, now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble. So there's a lot of things to do with setting your house in order. You reproving the people, but you also comforting the people of them that be in trouble. And then the last part, and now renounce corruption. Hey, so you got to be able to help out somebody in word and in deed, like we is going into in Romans. Say it has to be in word and in deed. In the things you say and in the actions that you commit, you got to be able to hold it down. But I'm going to drop down to 14 again. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. And everything that we see in this life that, kind of wear us down, stress us out, trials and tribulations, things that we be worrying about, that just be mortal thoughts. You got to cast all them burdens away. You can't let them burdens hold you down. That's like you walk out the house, you stump in some mud. If you ever stepped in mud, you see it's kind of, your foot don't just move as easy. You got to kind of pull it back out. You don't let that mud just hold you back, and now you just stuck in front of the house all day. Well, now I can't make it to work. I was on my last strike at work. Now you fired, can't pay the bills. Hey man, hold it down. Gotta hold it down, man. It said verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. And you gotta be like it said, Sirach 22 and 1. It said you gotta flee from sin that's from the face of a serpent. Paraphrasing. Anything that's a burden that's heavy on your mind, you gotta flee from it. A lot of people, they like to look at, running like it's a bad thing. But that's what the scriptures tell you to do. If you see something evil, man, you see that it's out to get you. You don't sit there and try to make friends with it or try to be big and bad, talk about I can overcome it. Go the opposite way. Just flee. Get away from that sin, man. Cast it down to the ground and hold it down through the Spirit. I'm going to close it out with this one, Revelation chapter 2 in verse number 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over nations. And these are things that's going to get us back in rulership. Guarding your spirit, setting your house in order, holding it down, walking in the spirit, not in the flesh. If you have trouble with walking in the spirit, man, just read Galatians 5 and 22, man. Really started like 17 on down. And you'll see what is good for your spirit, man. Because it be the little things in life that kind of wear us down. So we have to hold down our spirit, hold down our temple, hold down the household, hold down the nation, and hold down Yahweh Shai until the day he return, man. But with that, I'm give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I hope that this was edifying. Shalom.